Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? My name is Reniak and welcome back to Classic Doctor Who Reviews. And this time the power was left in my hands because my guests don't know any better. But I decided to be merciful for them. I could have picked a really bad episode, but I thought, no, I want to watch a really objectively good serial. And so I picked, for the Tom Baker era, Pyramids of Mars from 1975. And here to discuss that serial with me are my two usual co-hosts. Firstly, ground control to Major Tom, it's Freezing Inferno.
Because I was just listening to David Bowie before we started this, so...
What a coincidence.
Wild.
And to my virtual right, I just realised I forgot to put it to the virtual left, but it's fine, we'll run with it. To my virtual right, her circuit's dead, there's something wrong, it's Kat.
Pyramids of Mars is what we would call a lie. There is only one pyramid on Mars. Liars.
It is a bit of a misleading title.
But
Okay.
we can say it is the best Doctor Who story with Pyramid in the title.
Yes.
True.
There's not much competition there, but yes.
The competition being Pyramid at the End of the World.
Which we don't talk about.
No. It's the one after that we don't talk about.
Actually, yeah, Pyramid at the End of the World is perfectly okay. It's the one after that ruined everything, but this is much better than Pyramid at the End of the World.
This is pretty good.
So let's take you into some context here. So I first saw this serial all in one sitting, actually, because the channel... Was it Dave or was it the Horror Channel? It's one of the UK TV Freeview channels. Years ago, they did one Doctor Who serial per week for each of the 8 Doctors. The Aztecs was in there, Spearhead from Space was in there for John Pertwee, Tomb of the Cybermen, I forget the 5th Doctor one, Vengeance on Varos for the 6th Doctor, either Silver Nemesis or Remembrance of the Daleks for the 7th Doctor, and for the 4th Doctor, it was Pyramids of Mars.
You know, this sounds exactly like the lineup for the 50th anniversary. They did these specials here called The Doctors Revisited.
That might be exactly it. That might be exactly it.
It was a half-hour program, little documentary talking about the history of the Doctors, and then it ends by showing a serial.
Yeah. What was the 5th Doctor one?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that list is your exact one. The 5th. Oh, God, I can't. I'm pretty sure the 5th one would have been Earthshock.
That's it. Yeah, it's the exact same lineup. It's a goddamn. It's a goddamn con job.
You watched this in 2013 or later?
It would have been 2014 or 15, yeah.
Yeah, you probably were playing off of that playbook then.
I think that's what the channels were going off then. But point is, I last saw this in one sitting. This time, I saw it as it was originally intended in 4 25-minute serials.
Mm-hmm.
And spoilers for the end of this podcast, it's damn good.
Pretty good.
This is a damn good Doctor Who serial.
I mean, it's not my favorite Tom Baker, I'll throw that out there, but it's not shit.
Yes, well, Tom Baker is my favourite Doctor, so I'm biased.
Interesting.
My favourite classic Doctor, my second favourite is McCoy.
You'd be jealous that
McCoy.
I have a little figure up there of Tom Baker as the Doctor.
Nice.
I thanks to Kat, I have an ace and a Funko Pop of the Kerblam Man.
Come.
In bubble wrap, she was trying to catch you out.
Nice try!
Damn.
Almost got him. Almost got him.
You should have thrown a rock at me.
Stop the mirrors.
I'm quite impressed it was you that referenced that, not me. The best thing is that could have worked for both Kat and Jerry in that sentence. And you'll never know which one I was referring to. Oh, well.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Pyramids of Mars.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about first?
Okay, well, let's start with the fact that this was, in fact, and I've got to be very careful how I say this, this is Kat's first exposure to Tom Baker. Oh, God damn it, I've said it wrong again. Foot right in mouth.
It was my first time, and Rainiac was very gentle.
Oh my God.
Demonetized, that's it.
Oh, like this.
Wait a minute, we were supposed to be making money from this?
No. I wish.
But yes, this was the very first time that I saw Tom Baker in a serial ever, and it was really good in my opinion.
What's your opinion of Tom Baker as the Doctor?
I like him a lot. Like, I mean, again, I haven't seen anything else of his. So all I've got is his little cameo in Dimensions in Time, which, yeah. And then seeing him in what's it called? Day of the Doctor?
The Day of the Doctor, yes.
That one. So those other ones were just like very small snippets of who he was. Here, I got to see him actually act his ass off, and it was amazing.
So with a bit more of a, since I've seen every Tom Baker at least once. His performance in this is interesting. Reminds me a lot of what Peter Capaldi's sort of energy drew on in his first series, where he's got that sort of all business attitude where there's a scene where Sarah Jane's like, someone's just been killed, Doctor. And it's like, yes, well, everyone else on Earth will be dead if I don't sort this shit out.
Yeah, so, I got heavy Beyond Express vibes off that.
That does ironic. I want to ask, what was the serial before this one? Because in the beginning, he was very morose.
Oh, God. I can tell you, just...
Oh, God, I do not know.
It's all right, I've got a listing here. I've just got to actually access it.
Oh,
I want to say the Brain of Morbius, but
no, that's after. Evil. That's after.
Brain of Morbius is after?
It is.
It's Planet of Evil.
It is Planet of Evil, yes.
Planet of Evil.
I had to see it like 15 different times before you recognized it. I have the Wikipedia page open, goddammit.
Yeah.
Planet of Evil. That is one I've only seen one time. It's different.
Yeah.
Put it like that. But Classic Who didn't really draw upon itself that much. Well, I say that most of the time it didn't. In the middle of the run, like Tom Baker years, didn't really draw on what happened last time as much as you might think. So that's not really a draw. But he is pretty like somber.
He's very tetchy in this one. He's very tetchy in this one.
You can definitely see because Capaldi was a fan at this time too, so you can definitely see shades of what Capaldi would draw upon later in this incarnation, this Tom Baker, his performance in this episode rather, because he could be a goof a lot too.
Oh, he's a huge goof. That's part of the appeal.
Oh yeah.
Hang on a second. I just saw something that made me pause. The exterior scenes were shot on the Stargroves estate in Hampshire, a Victorian mansion noted for its ornate Gothic revival style of architecture, which was owned by Mick Jagger at the time.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Mick Jagger gave his mansion to Doctor Who to film an episode there.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God, there must be so many drugs covering that place.
Oh, Jesus.
A lot of collagen, too, if Mick Jagger's involved.
Oh, my God.
You okay? You appear to be wrestling with an alligator there, Jerry.
I'm fine.
How's the alligator?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Is it a handbag? Right. Yes,
so, yeah.
He is rather tetchy, because Tom Baker is renowned, and in fact, is very popular in classic Doctor Who fandom for being a goofball.
I mean, some of the middle of his era, say, is when shit gets really goofy. Like, it's around this time that you get stuff like City of Death.
Which is fantastic.
It's absolutely fantastic. One of the best Tom Baker stories. And the Doctor's just being a total goof. He's not really taking the threat seriously. He's just sort of, like, goofing off. But here, it's like a credible threat to the universe, so he's a lot more subdued, a lot more serious about it.
Yeah, it is justified. His attitude is justified, even though he does shout at Sarah Jane quite a bit, even when it's not justified. But that's all explained because of the villain, and we'll get to the villain later because he is a heck of a villain.
Oh, yes.
He's one of my favourite classic era villains.
Yeah, I can see where he's
the main reason I chose this particular serial. But Yeah,
Like,
he's
again, I haven't seen much of Classic Who, but he's really elevating the bar for me for Classic Who villains here. So
there is one thing that Jerry pointed out when we finished watching the episode together, which kind of brings him down a little bit in hindsight, but he's still top tier for me, top tier villain. But going back to Tom Baker, when we say goofy, 2 words: salami sandwich.
Salami. What's that one?
I wouldn't even say no to a salami sandwich.
I don't recognize the reference offhand.
I can't remember the episode it's in, but it's after he's defeated all the villains in that particular episode, and he's in like a cape, a hood, and pulls the hood back, and it's actually him.
Offhand, I think you're talking about the Mask of Mandragora.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, damn! I got that.
I only know that line so well because when Twitch Presents did the Fourth Doctor era, their little clip show has that line very prominently.
Along with "We've made it, London, 1965."
That's the First Doctor era, but yes. Funnily enough, a line from Pyramid of Mars did make it into that sizzle reel for the Fourth Doctor. It's the entrance to the time-space tunnel.
Nice.
Is in that sizzle reel.
Okay.
I didn't recognise it until I watched the episode again. The more you know. But he is fantastic, and Tom Baker doesn't get enough credit for being a hell of an actor.
You know, I want to point out another funny moment that echoes... Well, this comes before a moment we already saw. But there's a scene where the Egyptian guy in the mansion is about to shoot the Dr. Warlock. And what does the doctor do? He tangles him up in his scarf from behind.
He hits him with the scarf. It's wonderful.
It's the same goddamn thing that McCoy does to the Ronnie.
Yeah.
Time in the Ronnie.
He doesn't tie him up so much as just smack him with it.
Whap! 13 feet of yarn in your face.
And then when the guy gets up and points to the gun, he's just not there anymore. He's like, what the hell happened?
it's like, I'm sorry, but that thing must be super gross, because in this one episode, he both wipes his face with his scarf, and he gets like this green goop on his fingers and wipes it off on his scarf. That scarf must be nasty.
Yes, the Fourth Doctor would not have lasted long in this current age of the coronavirus.
Oh, Jesus.
Wash your hands, people.
Yeah, wash your goddamn hands.
Don't kill Grandma.
Stop killing Grandma!
Hey, look, Newfoundland, before the weekend, we had a week solid with no new cases, so I think we're doing pretty good.
We've got our crap together now in the UK. We are still having fatalities, but they have started to tail off a bit, and people are being a lot better about going outside. But still, stop killing Grandma!
And then America is down there.
And then there's America. Moving on to Sarah Jane.
Moving on to Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Sarah Jane and her adventures.
Yeah, so another fan favourite of the Classic Doctor era is Sarah Jane Smith.
She's nice.
She's a journalist. She's one of the more popular Classic companions, which is probably why she was chosen to come back in the modern era.
In an actually good episode by Toby Whithouse, which is surprising.
Yeah, and then she has a nice role in Stolen Earth and Journey's End, which we just saw again on the watch-along, and it's still terrific.
And she had her own little show.
What did you just say about Sarah Jane coming back? I couldn't understand you.
I said that she came back in School Reunion, which was actually a good episode by Toby Whithouse.
No, I'm sorry. I'm still having trouble understanding you.
Okay.
I think I need to add dunking on Toby Whithouse to the Doctor Who Review bingo card.
Oh, God.
Which is in production, by the way. I am working on that slowly, but
you know what? Okay. I'll wait.
The free space is mirrors, just as a spoiler for you.
The free space is mirrors.
Well, it had to be, didn't it?
Oh God!
It gets referenced more than anything else in this goddamn show.
Yes, but Sarah Jane's good. There's a reason she was the.
She's quite naive in this episode. I'm sorry, I keep getting the urge to call it episode serial. She's quite naive in this story or serial.
I think she's pretty competent.
At first, I didn't recognize who she was because I've only seen the older Sarah Jane. So,
Yeah.
It's like in Dimensions in Time, I was like, I don't know who that person is. I don't know who that person is, but I recognize the Doctor at least.
And she's wearing a dress from that Victoria used to wear. I don't know if we ever saw Victoria in that dress, but we last saw Victoria in Dimensions in Time where she yelled, "Terrible woman!"
Was it Victoria or Queen Victoria?
I'm pretty sure he was actually meant. No, Sarah Jane makes a joke about Queen Victoria, but I'm pretty sure
it's actually Victoria Wakefield. Yeah.
Was Victoria Waterfield.
I said Wakefield. Sorry. Victoria Waterfield.
Yeah.
What a terrible woman.
I don't even know who that is, and I still said it right. Jeez.
It's been a long day, okay? Week, month, year. Take your pick.
It's been a long existence.
It's been a long 2020.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
Look, you can't do the theme song from Friends because then the compulsion will be brought on, and then I won't be able to help it.
When it hasn't been your day, or even your day.
Not that one. You know the one I'm talking about. Everybody in America knows that compulsion when you hear the first bit of that theme song.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that one.
You've just turned on Siri for people watching this.
I physically cannot stop myself from doing that. So.
You've just turned on Siri for people watching this. And there's a scene in this involving Sarah Jane, which I absolutely love. And again, Tom Baker acts his socks off. So, the whole point of the episode is that Sutekh, who we'll talk about later, is messing with the laws of time. The episode's set in 1911, and then there's a bit where the Doctor says, well, we might as well just... So Sarah Jane says, can't we just leave? He says, well, okay. They get into the TARDIS with one of the guest characters, and then he takes them forward in time. He says, 1980s, Sarah Jane, if you want to get off. And it's just a wasteland. It's just a desolate wasteland. What's the wonderfully poetic term he uses? A desolate planet orbiting a dead sun.
Yeah, this is something that Doctor Who canon people try to make sense of, the fact that, it's almost like... I'm having a hard time explaining it, but it's like, oh, the future's already set. Sutekh's already won here, except not.
No, he specifically says this is the future if Sutekh triumphs.
Which I don't think is how time works in Doctor Who usually, which is why people do think there's a line.
I think it's fine.
It's Doctor Who. Let's just accept it.
Oh, it is. It's fine.
I'm just fine. Here's why. I think because at the moment in time that he travels, I'm going to attempt to try and reason this out. So bear with me. At the moment that he leaves 1911, time is set so that Sutekh wins. Right?
Yeah.
He goes forward in 1980, Sutekh's won. He goes back, corrects the mistake, and Sutekh hasn't won. There you go.
So back to the future rules, basically.
Yeah, basically. And who cares when it's such a damn good scene?
Back to the future rules would ripple effect out.
When we get such a good scene out of it, who cares, quite frankly? But this is basically... Really, you know how people were up in arms about Orphan 55 and alternate futures and things like that?
Oh, you mean the one part of the episode I actually liked?
Yeah, this did it 45 years early.
Funny also, as you mentioned 1980, that's the year that Sarah says she and the Doctor are from, which that's a feather in the hat for the unit dating controversy.
Oh God, not that.
I'm not touching.
We haven't got enough time to touch on that. Jesus.
Google the unit dating controversy if you give a shit. But
or set yourself off an hour and don't.
Just say
don't do that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Good.
So.
Yeah.
Congratulations!
It's trying to figure out when the unit era stories with the Third Doctor are set, because they're intended to be the near future because of a couple of lines in the Second Doctor era. But then when the Fifth Doctor meets the Brigadier, he retired in 1977, which is before any of this shit should have happened.
Oh, see, I thought the problem was that Tinder didn't exist back then.
I have to admit, the first time I heard unit dating scandal, I also thought it was a romance thing. It wasn't. I wish it had been.
Oh. It's funny, because one of the DVDs I have, I don't remember which Third Doctor DVD, it has a little extra feature on unit dating, narrated by Toby Haydock.
Yeah.
And it ends with him saying something along the lines of, "So, in the end, does this all really matter?" And the answer is, "Of course it matters! It keeps me up at night!"
Toby Haydog is great.
He's so good.
Bless that man.
Sarah Jane, very good.
Yeah.
I really like the scene where she's holding this, like, what would you even call it? Force field generator? Holding it down while the doctor, like, diffuses it.
That was an organ jar.
It's a cannabis jar, yeah.
Yes, that's the actual word. Ancient Egyptians, when they would mummify people, would take these jars and put the major organs of the body into those jars.
And now it's being used to generate a force field.
Yes.
But I love that because I am a huge fan, as you know, of ancient mythology and ancient cultures, having done my degree on it in university, and this Egyptian stuff just sings to me.
Oh, no wonder you picked this one.
Yeah, this is probably one of my favourites. I admit to being biased, but I don't apologise for being biased.
I mean, it's basically doing the Von Daniken thing, you know. Ancient Egyptian culture was actually a bunch of aliens called the Assyrians.
Yeah. But it works!
So,
it works!
Crystal skulls.
It's weird because, like, the Assyrians have this, like, moral code where they can't kill Sutekh because it would make them no better than him, which is like, oh, okay, the ancient Egyptian aliens were centrists. No offense or anything.
God damn it!
It's like, it's the same thing as, like, punching Richard Spencer. If we kill Sutekh, we're as bad as him.
It's nothing like punching Richard Spencer, come on now.
Yeah, you should punch Richard Spencer.
What is an idiot with a frog lapel pin? The Egyptian is an ancient Egyptian god of death. There are quite a lot of differences there. It's a very important one. I can't continue. Hang on a minute. I need a moment. Okay. The last thing I expected to talk about today was compare Richard Spencer to Sutekh.
Space Egyptian century.
Oh, so much for the tolerant virtual left.
Oh, God. Okay,
it was worth it. It was worth it to make that joke.
That was good.
But back to good things like pyramids and bars. Yeah, Sarah Jane's great.
So you're talking about Egyptology.
Yeah. So we open with hey, remember the plot? We open with this archaeologist in Egypt, Professor Scarman. He's Marcus and his brother's Lawrence. Yeah, he's Marcus. Marcus Scarman. He finds this tomb, this undisturbed tomb in Egypt. The workers want nothing to do with it. And
he says some nasty things.
He says some things that we're not going to go into. Well, no. Here's the thing.
Shall we say the word problematic?
He calls them the Macho Man.
Racist is what we're saying here.
He calls them the Macho Man.
I mean, this story ain't no Talons, but let us say, yikes.
It was not okay. Of course, it's not okay, but I think it could be somewhat justified in that it's 1911. That's how attitudes towards people of colour from that area of the British Empire were back then. You can't just hand wave it away. Obviously, it's not acceptable. It's not right.
I'm going to quote one of my favorite YouTubers, Pop Arena. The past was a mistake. That's what they say whenever they come across any like problematic stuff.
That covers so much.
Yeah. They cover like the history of Nickelodeon shows. So
I think as long as you acknowledge that, you know, this is not right, and in fairness, they don't try to justify him saying it, and 30 seconds later he pays for it horribly. But him referring to the locals as superstitious savages, yeah, not the best moment of Doctor Who.
That's going to be a yikes from me.
That's a yikes from me, dog.
We can kind of compare this to the recent First Doctor portrayal, where, they both said some pretty not okay things. But the difference here is that in Pyramids, he said one thing, and then everybody else was just, they might have said something about the Egyptian, which,
The other major scene I can think of is when Dr. Warlock is questioning the Egyptian guy in the mansion in part 1. Yeah. And he basically doesn't believe him because, well, he's an Egyptian.
Yeah, but again, this is the tightrope it's got to walk. Because it's set in 1911, it has to be somewhat accurate to the attitudes at that time.
They didn't throw it in our faces. Not the recent First Doctor.
Yeah, it's a lot more nuanced, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you want like accurate racism of the time, there's a good episode called Thin Ice that did that.
Oh God!
We don't want accurate racism. We're just acknowledging that it exists.
If you want a truly racist story, just watch Talons of Wing Chang.
Now, God, fucking! Oh, you're gonna get him mad, Rainiac.
And then the news fell off the edge of a cliff.
You're gonna kick the hornet's nest if you talk shit about Talons.
I'm not talking shit about it. I'm just saying it is what it is.
I am. I don't want to watch that fucking shit.
Now that's what I call Yikes, Volume 5. But thankfully, this is a lot better than that in terms of the racial stuff is over pretty quickly.
Yeah, let's put that.
And I have to say, actually, the vast majority of the depiction of Egyptian culture is more or less respectful.
More or less,
yeah. I mean, we have these helpers of the main villain who are actually kind of great in their jankiness.
The mummies. Oh, the chunky mummies.
Mummies alive. Oh Lord, they're coming.
I love it. It's just like it can't just be like a mummy. You think of a mummy, you just think of like a person in bandages. These guys are like built.
These are built like a brick shithouse.
They did not skip arm day, but they definitely skipped leg day.
Yes.
And they're rather effective killers. I mean, sometimes they choke you out, which, well, you don't really see because they're pulling back from violence. But the one poor, like, I guess, hunter, poacher character.
He's a gamekeeper.
Gamekeeper, whatever you want to call him.
He's a gamekeeper, and he gets dry humped to death.
He gets squished to death between the mummies.
He gets the Yeti Halloween Havoc 1995 treatment.
Jesus Christ.
I will do a comparison GIF on Twitter so you know what the hell I'm talking about, but it's just like that. It's like two massive humanoids wrapped in bandages squashing a poor man to death.
It's a creative way to get around violence.
Yeah, they do quite well. The violence is a lot of the violence is imagined.
Let's put it this
way. The guy gets shot and you see his bloody hand.
Porno, but a bad way to end a porno.
Oh, and speaking of getting shot, a fantastic visual effect in this.
Yes.
Professor Scarman, who's been possessed by Sutekh. At one point, the groundskeeper or the gamekeeper fires a shot through the glass window. It shatters beautifully. Bullet hits Scarman square in the back, and then time rewinds, and he's absolutely fine. Brilliant.
And it's like a perfect looking shot too.
Yeah.
You see all the smoke.
And they literally, I remember watching the special features. Literally, all he did was he walked backwards and then got shot with a blank.
It's simple, but it's so effective. It's so effective.
It works.
This is the 1970s. It's really good for the 1970s.
And it's like
all it is a little creative acting and the reverse film.
He's a good actor.
It works.
The guy that plays Scarman is a good actor.
This is still the 70s. And if you had no idea about reversing footage, you would wonder, how the hell did they do that? That's amazing. The fact that we know that the footage has been reversed just makes it a little bit more obvious to us, but it's still pretty awesome how they accomplished it.
Nowadays it's a bit dated, isn't it? But I think the effects, by and large, in this episode are really good for their time.
Well, let's not go that far.
Well, there's a few little things.
Not the acting accompanying those effects.
No, there's a few little things that are goofy.
Not to get sucked into a sarcophagus and crouching down.
Oh,
No.
Just that part. It's the.
I was thinking more about the TARDIS key, but we'll get to that.
Oh my god!
The TARDIS key part is hilarious.
Yeah, all right.
I'm
okay.
Talk about that now
I
or
will
later.
clarify my previous statement. Some of the effects are good, and some of them are hilariously bad.
Okay, so
Not that they're bad. It's just that they're misdone. They could have done that one a little.
But anyway, Professor Scarman is possessed by Sutekh. He comes to the house. There's a couple of victims prior to his arrival. The minion guy gets killed off by Scarman because there's only one true servant of Sutekh, and it's him. And
that's a pretty effective cliffhanger. That one.
Over a big part of how he got there.
Oh yes, through the sarcophagus.
That's a little bit important.
Hang on. Before we do that, I want to talk about one thing in part one.
Yeah.
Get out your bingo dabbers! It's a Doctor Who mirror alert.
It is.
There's a shot where early on where the Egyptian guy's playing the organ, and the shot is focused on the sarcophagus you mentioned, and the shot pans out, and it's the sarcophagus, but seen in a mirror on the organ.
Son of a bitch! That's a really good. I can't be mad about that one. That's a really good spot.
It's a good shot, yeah. But it is a Doctor Who mirror alert, so get your bingo dabbers.
Yeah, it's a Doctor Who mirror alert, but I'll let you have that one because I didn't see it. That's a good spot.
Also, what was the whole point of him playing the organ? That was a little weird.
To be spooky, yeah.
Because creepy villain guy is creepy.
Did just have a guy who could play the organ, and they're like, yeah, okay, sure.
Maybe. But this is Na Min, who's a servant of the villain, and gets offed in the cliffhanger for part one quite horribly.
He gets like burning hands to death.
Yeah, Sutekh is basically.
I will give you. I am Sutekh's servant. I give you the shoulder rub of death.
The whole point about Sutekh is he has the gift of death. He has a touch of death, and he uses it on Na Min. And Na Min just screams. It's very unsettling.
Yeah.
It's effective, but it's very unsettling.
So, I'm sorry, but every single time someone says Na Min, it just reminds me of Heavy Rain with Nam and Jaden.
Oh,
That's
Jesus.
how he pronounced his name, so I can't.
Oh, Jesus.
Jason!
So, any other factors you want to talk about here? Or shall we move to the villain?
Did we finish talking about the mummies? We can't
Death
skip
Squish,
them.
Chunky Boys.
Oh, yes, we mentioned the Death Squish, yeah.
Oh, there's also that scene where Tom Baker disguises himself as a mummy.
Oh, I love that.
Which, I'm pretty sure that it's just Tom Baker delivering his lines.
I think you're right. So let's fast forward through the plot then. I'll fast forward through the plot briefly. So, part one, the butler gets killed. Na Min is murdered by Scarman in part one. Part two, the Doctor gets sucked into the sarcophagus and then blown up. He survives, but he's knocked out for a little bit. We meet Scarman's brother, Lawrence, who's interesting because the guy that plays him has been in Doctor Who a few times.
Quite a few.
Michael Sheard. We talked about him in Remembrance of the Daleks because he's the headmaster. He's also
in the Ark. He might be in the second Doctor story, but I can't remember offhand.
I think he's been with the first, third, fifth, and seventh Doctors. And fourth,
That sounds right. That sounds
fourth,
right.
of course. Yes, because this is the fourth. I think he
He
has
might
6
even
credits
be
in general.
he might even be in another fourth Doctor episode. I'm not sure.
That would tell you, because I think he's in 6 serials overall, and he's been in 5 different Doctor eras.
He was in The Ark with the first Doctor, The Mind of Evil with the third, Pyramid of Mars and Invisible Enemy with the fourth, the fifth in Castrovalva, 7th Doctor in Remembrance of the Daleks, 8th Doctor in The Stones of Venice, which was an audio drama.
Yeah.
He's in that?
Apparently.
He was in the Invisible
He's in Castrovalva. That's the one I'm forgetting.
Yeah, Castrovalva.
And The Invisible Enemy.
Hitler. In,
The Invisible Enemy, which...
Donald Trump referenced.
Yeah. He also gets choked out by Darth Vader in The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, he's is it Ozzel?
Yeah,
Admiral Ozzel?
he gets choked out by Viewscreen in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. So he had quite the resume of dying horribly in science fiction.
Actually, in fact, he was Adolf Hitler 5 times.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's Hitler in Last Crusade.
What I just said!
God.
Well, it wasn't her, I'm sorry.
Well, then maybe you guys should stop talking over to me and listen to me.
For the benefit of the tape, Kat said that Hitler was played by Michael Sheen in Last Crusade, and she's absolutely right.
Thank you. Yeah.
That sound effect, though.
But you were talking about the character of Lawrence Scarman.
Yeah, he's not a secondary villain.
I wouldn't call him a villain.
All right, he's a puppet. He's a manipulated puppet of the main villain.
No, it's Lawrence Scarman, not Marcus Scarman. We're talking about Michael Sheard.
Sorry, yeah, Michael Sheard. Lawrence. Lawrence is an interesting character.
Marcus, shush. Marcus Scarman was the one who went in and got taken over by Sutekh.
Yes.
Lawrence is the brother.
We're talking about Lawrence the brother, and he's quite interesting because he even gets to go inside the TARDIS at one point. And react to it, like the whole "it's big on the inside," etc., thing.
And he wants to believe that there's hope for his brother, but the Doctor, being again pretty focused and not really empathetic.
The Doctor's very blunt in this serial.
He's just like, yeah, he's fucking dead.
Bruv.
That's a bit like Peter Capaldi again.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was a formative episode for Capaldi. And
he's the top layer if you want to say a few words. Jesus.
God.
That moment in Into the Dalek, god damn.
God, I love Capaldi.
Yeah. We did not deserve the 12th Doctor era, but we got it, thank goodness.
Oh, thank God we did.
Thank God we did. But yeah, I think the brother's an interesting character. Sadly, he's killed off in Part 3 by what remains of his brother Marcus. He tries to get through to him. He actually sabotages the Doctor's efforts to kill Sutekh at one point because he thinks it'll destroy his brother as well.
Which it does in the end.
It does in the end, but not the Doctor's doing.
Yeah.
Say there is only one thing that this serial does wrong, and that is the fact that they have 2 people with the last name of Scarman and 1 person with the last name of Warlock, and they're not the villains.
Well,
that's kind of the whole point, though.
Not actually the villains.
That's kind of the whole point.
It's like that pisses me off to no end.
But talking about the villains, should we talk about
not doing some evil bullshit?
Let's talk about the highlight of this episode then.
Oh boy.
The Egyptian, Assyrian god of death, Sutekh himself. This guy.
Yes.
This motherfucker right here.
This guy is fantastic.
Yes,
the Part 3 cliffhanger is basically just divine will against the Doctor. Green light, screaming in pain. It's just, oh shit.
Tom Baker does a fantastic anguish scream in this.
Oh yeah. You really feel like the stakes are high, and
he really gets hurt in this confrontation with Sutekh. And to set it up, we mentioned a bit about the mummy. At one point, one of the mummies gets deactivated. I think it shuts down the machine to stop Sutekh, but it gets deactivated in the process. So Lawrence strips it of its bindings, revealing that it's actually a robot.
We knew anyways.
I think we guessed, to be honest, as well, because it squished a man to death.
It was kind of obvious with the way it moved.
Yeah. The Doctor then uses this quite cleverly, uses the bandages to disguise himself as a mummy, gets about 6 inches taller in the process, because it's just the same suit actor. It's literally the same suit actor. There are 3 suit actors credited. It's one of those 3. And at the time when Tom Baker is wrapped in the bandages, it's literally just that suit actor and then Tom Baker speaking his lines off camera. I'm convinced. But the Doctor does this to get a block of Gelatite to the pyramid where the apparatus is that's beaming to the Pyramid of Mars to get Sutekh to be freed. At one point he's caught by Scarman, but he manages to get away with it. places the bomb, gets the hell out of there. Sarah Jane gets a rifle. Yes, Sarah Jane apparently is a good shot. And from quite a good distance away, shoots the block of gelatinite, and it explodes. Mission accomplished. Except that Sutekh is a dirty cheater and puts in the no clip code, and suddenly... and suddenly...
off creeper explosions.
The explosion is contained, which is just cheating.
A bit.
He's using his mental will. It's explaining he's using his mental will to keep the explosion in place so that it doesn't go off and doesn't trap him in his prison for all of eternity. So the Doctor, again thinking cleverly, goes to the sarcophagus, somehow enters it, and comes face to face with Sutekh. Now, up to this point, we've only seen little glimpses of Sutekh. We've seen his shoulders. We've seen him sitting on a chair. He spends most of this serial sitting on a chair, basically.
He's kind of trapped there because later on he says that he's no longer paralyzed.
He's paralyzed, and it wears off. Eventually, it wears off. But he goes to the dimension where Sutekh is sitting. Sutekh immediately spots the Doctor, breaks them under concentration, kaboom! Now, the bomb has actually moved away at this point, and I thought, hang on a minute, is this a continuity error? No, it's not. So the explanation is this. The explosion happens in a set point in time, right? Mm-hmm. Sutekh is using his powers to contain it, to stabilize it, to stop it from happening at that moment in time. But even when the bomb is moved away, the explosion is still a fixed point. So the explosion is now separate from the remains of the bomb. And that's why it works. Again, it's a bit of a cop-out. It's a bit of a cop-out, but it gives us a fantastic scene, so who cares?
I may have looked away during this, but did one of the mummies pick up the box and walk away with it?
One of the mummies is told to move the bomb away from the pyramid.
But did you see him do it?
Yes.
Okay.
You see the mummy pick it up. It's in the process of walking away. Then the Doctor goes to confront Sutekh. Sutekh drops his concentration and kaboom. But the mummies are not in the shot, so they're not blown up. And the mummies are later seen fine standing next to Scarman in part 4, beginning of part 4.
No, then that still doesn't make any sense because there were two of the mummy guards standing outside of the pyramid when it blew up.
But they move away.
Do they?
Yeah. One mummy guard takes the bomb away. The other mummy guard looks like he's moving towards
I'm
Scarman.
saying when the Doctor, as the mummy, places the box down, there are the two mummy guards there.
Yes, but after that, Scarman gets the device removed by one of the mummy guards.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying that the Doctor puts it down, he gets out of the way, there are two mummy guards there. Sarah Jane takes the rifle, shoots the box, it blows up, but, Sutekh does his magic bullshit explosion suppression thing, but the mummies are still there.
Yeah, and they don't get blown up because the explosion is contained.
Right, so you're saying that because that explosion was supposed to happen at that point in time, then it happened at that point in time.
So they should be blown up. Yeah, fair enough.
Exactly. So,
but they're not because Sutekh's a dirty cheater.
That must be bullshit.
It doesn't happen because Sutekh. It doesn't happen because Sutekh is sponsored by Game Shark.
But
anyway,
apparently he also put no clip on his robots, and they just sort of slid down through the ground.
Yes. So anyway, that all happens.
We get to part 4, which
part 4 is glorious. Part 4 is absolutely brilliant.
I'll say the opening to part 4 is glorious.
Green Light of Doom.
Green Light of Doom, and the Doctor is just absolutely at the mercy of this.
Yeah.
Dark god of destruction.
He's being tortured.
Sutekh is basically just like, well, I'm trapped here, but you know what? If I'm trapped here, I might as well play with you and give you torture and pain for a few centuries.
He basically says that he's going to inflict an eternity's worth of pain on the Doctor.
You'll make an interesting diversion.
Can I just say, Sutekh has the best voice in this.
He does.
He doesn't really raise his voice. He keeps it very quiet and very calm. So the entire time he's just describing all these awful things he's going to do, but it makes it sound like he's just talking to a friend on a Tuesday afternoon.
I'm glad you brought up his voice,
Here
because it
comes
might be
Rainiac
familiar to
trivia.
people who have watched the modern day episodes. Because this is the voice of Gabriel Wolf. And Gabriel Wolf would later lend his voice to another fantastic villain, the Beast, in The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit. Another one of my favourite stories, by the way.
So basically, your hits for great stories are Ancient Gods, voiced by Gabriel Wolf.
Yes, and I make no apologies for it.
Apparently.
Because they're both great.
But can't hit on the thing. His performance is very subdued, very just low and menacing.
Do you know who he reminds me of a little bit in terms of delivery? This might not make sense.
Go on.
Dr. No.
I haven't seen that one in a while.
Well, basically, until the final bit of Dr. No, and you only see Dr. No for like 20 minutes of the entire film, he's very sort of calm and subdued, even when he's threatening people.
Mm-hmm.
And he just reminded me a bit of this.
Okay.
Is Gabriel Wolf just the voice for Sutekh, or is he also the body?
I'm not sure.
Because there's a tall guy under there.
Good question.
Oh, now I can bring up the thing we were laughing about earlier, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, long story short, Sutekh, it's weird, because first he's like, I'm going to torture you. Then he figures out the doctor's a time lord and is like, oh, you know what, you should join me.
Yeah.
And the doctor, of course, is like, no.
That's just classic villain logic. I don't mind that at all.
So the only reason he wants the doctor to join him is because he has a machine that can go through time and space. So of course,
Which he gets anyway by basically just possessing the doctor, which is a really creepy scene too.
Yeah.
Which leads to a funny thing where he sends through the time-space tunnel the TARDIS key.
Oh my god!
And they literally have the TARDIS key on a chain, and it's just like obviously held up by strings, and it's just being dangled around in front of the camera.
And it's completely useless because about a minute later he sends through the Doctor.
It's just so.
It's like, all you people at home, I want you to do a little experiment. If you have a necklace, grab that. Or if you have like headphones that have a really long cord, grab that. And just take it and grab it by two separate points, maybe about 6 inches apart from each other. And see what happens to the middle of that, chain or headphone cord. And imagine just that floating its way across a room.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Which does lead though to where it's a moment where it seems everything is screwed. The doctor takes Marcus and Sarah, who's being held as a hostage by the mummies, to the pyramid of Mars, with which to free Sutekh from his imprisonment. Yes. And it's at this point that Sutekh kills the doctor, but doesn't, because they try to choke him out with the mummies, but Time Lord, respiratory something or other, and Sutekh releases his hold on him.
Can you imagine if this had been a modern day episode and the Doctor had started glowing at that point?
Oh, Jesus. Just Peter Davison pops up. Oh, hello. We're going to stop Sutekh.
I'm not suggesting he regenerated, but what if, he thinks he's dying and so it starts to happen, but he's able to suppress it? But
that reminds me of another story involving pyramids where it looked like the Doctor was going to regenerate.
No, don't slay the pyramid. That's lie of the land, and we don't talk about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Wet house.
But here's where pyramids kind of falters for me, because then we turn this grim oh God, we're all screwed, dark God arising scenario. We turn it into an episode of Nightmare.
Yes, we go from Doctor Who to The Witness.
It's just a bunch of traps and puzzles and shit that Marcus Scarman as Sutekh served is solving, and then the Doctor and Sarah Jane are right behind him solving the same puzzles.
If it weren't for the fact that this was 1975, right, I would almost be convinced that Jonathan Blow works as a consultant on this episode, because this is just straight up The Witness.
The only thing I can think of now is the dude coming over like an intercom or something, going, "Ooh, nasty."
Yeah,
Oh, God.
tray guard.
Like Sutekh is literally telling Marcus how to solve the puzzles, and the doctor is just like, "Oh, okay, here's how we solve it."
There is a wonderful moment though where both the Doctor and Sarah Jane do a Grandpa Simpson turn.
Oh God! If you can,
Yes,
if you can find a gif of that, put that in
that is
here.
the best.
I might be able to do that.
I think before that though, before that we have a classic puzzle that you pointed out, the one where there's two buttons and there's two mummies.
That's after the turn.
That's after the turn.
Yeah,
I got it before
the two buttons.
I have it before the turn. I have it before the turn in my notes.
The two buttons is the final puzzle they've got to solve.
Well, either way, before or after.
And this is a classic riddle. So two mummies, not Sutekh's mummies. These are Horus's mummies. They're good mummies. You can tell that because they've got a gold flash across the chest.
Cat found it, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put that shit in. Anyway, go back to the mummies.
Yeah. Go back to the book. So these are the good mummies. You can tell they've got a big gold X on their chest. And these are supposed to be Horus's, does he call them servitors? Services?
I don't know what they call them.
Guardians.
Guards.
Yes.
Guardians, whatever.
Guardians. So, Sarah Jane suddenly gets trapped by a, yes, thank you, Kat. That's the gif.
By a glass tube.
Yeah, she gets trapped by a phantom glass tube.
I'm trapped in a glass case of emotion.
Oh god!
There's a moment here I love where there's a bit of dust on it, and the doctor writes "relax,"
and she does.
But he writes it backwards so Sarah Jane can see when he finishes.
That's
she almost does this sort of eye roll. She's like, "Oh fuck!"
No, and then she smiles and relaxes. I like that.
Oh,
it's a nice moment. But anyway, the point is this: the tube's got two buttons on it.
Mm-hmm.
One will kill Sarah Jane, and presumably the Doctor as well, and the other one will release Sarah Jane, and the Doctor will be unharmed. Now, this is a classic riddle. So
one
there are two
always
guards.
tells the truth.
There are two guards. One always tells the truth. One always lies. You're allowed to ask one question. Oh my god.
So many good gifts.
That's the gif of him being sucked into the sarcophagus, and it's amazing. But
fantastic GIF.
Yes.
GIF is a cleaning product, or it was until it was renamed to Sith. But
GIF is a peanut butter.
So yeah, one god always lies. One god always tells the truth. You get one question. What is the one question that you can ask that guarantees you get the right answer? And the Doctor gets this fairly quickly, so I'll try to explain it. So.
It's a simple puzzle.
You ask one of the Guardians, what would the other Guardian point to, in this case? Because if you're talking to the truth teller will say, well, he's the liar, he will point to the death switch. So you don't press that. And if you've got the liar, he wants you to press the death switch, so he will say that, oh, the other guy will point you to the death switch. So you go for the other one. It's the only question you can do that gets you the right answer every time.
Yeah.
So they solve the puzzle, but they're too late.
Even though
Scarlet has reached the chamber with the Eye of Horus, which breaking it will free Sutekh from his prison. The mummies have a fight.
The mummy slap fight.
The mummies just have a fight because.
And then they break the eye and. Garmin.
That's amazing! Melts. I'm free.
And Sutekh gets freed, and here's where we get to mention the fun thing. Rainiac.
Yeah.
I don't think Kat noticed it. I very much doubt Kat noticed
it. Yes. So, did you notice, Kat, that there was an appearance by another companion in this episode?
No.
It was in part 4. I'll give you a hint.
Have you got the screen cap ready, Rainiac?
Fantastic hint. I mean, there's absolutely nobody else.
All right, I'll give you another hint. It's when Sutekh stands up from his chair for the first time.
Is that one of the companions play? Wait, hang on. I found a GIF of it. Who's that behind the chair with their hand?
That is Clara Oswald.
What?
That's Clara Oswald. It's canon.
It's canon. Remember when Clara splintered in Name of the Doctor, and all her incarnations helped the Doctor through every victory?
See, the only reason they were to beat Sutekh is because Clara's Echo does something covered to the cushion and sabotages him.
Clara stalled him from getting up long enough for the Doctor to stop him. It's canon.
She doesn't really, but that's the fan, the playful fan
it's
theory.
Just like it's some production assistant's hand or something.
Yeah, it is. It's an error. It's a continuity error, but we're having a bit of fun with it.
But I mean, look, if Moffat could turn Matt Smith is wearing the wrong jacket in that Angel two-parter into a thing instead of a continuity error, we can turn this into Clara.
There is a difference, though. That was not a continuity error.
No, but that's what people
The jacket
said.
was not a continuity error. That was absolutely
That's
intentional.
what people said when it aired.
I
It's
didn't.
like, oh, there's a continuity.
I didn't. I thought, this is a different Doctor, isn't it?
This is a clue.
This may be a clue.
Yeah, there we go. Clara in
I only
Pyramids of
mentioned
Mars.
Clara because we're recording this on the 27th of April, which is Jenna Coleman's birthday. So happy birthday, Jenna Coleman.
Happy birthday, Queen of Mirrors!
And it's also Russell T Davis's birthday.
Happy birthday, Rusty T!
Yeah. Happy birthday, you two. But anyway, Sutekh gets up with or without Clara's hindrance.
This is kind of a nonsense.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
It's a shame because they built up this villain so well.
Anticlimactic, I think.
And
is
then
the
he
word.
goes out like a bitch.
Yeah, it's basically somehow his breaking of the Eye of Horus is transmitted at the speed of a radio signal from Mars to Earth.
Yeah.
So the Doctor and Sarah Jane have time to hop in the TARDIS really quick, hop back to the mansion, pull out some sort of time dilation device from the TARDIS, and then, they fiddle with the sarcophagus, so instead of pulling Sutekh in, it blasts him out into the time vortex.
Yeah.
So this all-powerful god, who 20 minutes earlier in the episode had the Doctor, at his mercy, absolutely screaming in agony and pain, abasing himself, is just sitting here in this sarcophagus like, well, please do it. I'll give you Earth. In fact, I'll give you Earth. Just let me through. Oh, God.
Yeah.
He's just begging for mercy, and then he just gets blasted into the time vortex. And
By this point, also, his
What
helmet, his
happened?
cool mask is off, and he's like this demonic dog creature with green glowing eyes.
He's set.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck's sakes, what is with Doctor Who and having these eternal god beings
But
go out?
that's
What's
not what
this?
happens.
The
He
only one that
get
doesn't go out like
blasted
a
off into
the
time
only one that doesn't
vortex.
go out like a complete wuss is Fenric. Fenric is outmaneuvered. He doesn't go out like a wuss.
But
That's
again, he did not get blasted out into the time vortex. The Doctor moved the exit to a different point in time.
Yeah.
11,000 years into the future.
He ages Sutekh's death.
Yeah, Sirens lived to be 7,000, I think he said. So by then, he would have turned to dust.
Yeah, and that's a continuity because he says I sent him 11,000 years into the future. So
well. Either way, it's a bit. It's either way, it's anticlimactic for a god.
it is, and it kind of parallels what we said about Can You Hear Me? Where they build up these great villains, Zelin and Rakaya, and then they are beaten too easily.
That's kind of how.
But they do it to get them out of the way so they can get to the really important stuff about mental health. But
yeah.
they do it to Sutekh here just to get him out of the way. I don't
It's
like
basically
it. It's a shame, but they have to beat him some way.
I disagree here.
Okay?
Well, since you didn't listen to me the last 2 times I said it.
I'm sorry, your microphone cut out.
Well, that's not my fault. That's your fault. Deal with it.
I agree. So you disagree?
Go on.
Here's a question. Osiris, or whatever these people are called, Osirians,
Osirians or Assyrians, yes.
Syrians, thank you. Assyrians are supposed to be like super powerful. Sutekh is supposed to be essentially he became Set, the Egyptian deity Set, correct?
Mhm.
He's Set, yes.
He's supposed to be all powerful. He obviously can, take over people's minds. He can do things telekinetically. So the idea of essentially the Doctor using his own time portal against him just by essentially taking the exit of it and moving it several thousand years forward into the future, how else was he going to defeat Sutekh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I like the fact that the Doctor exploits the 2-minute gap between Earth and Mars. I like that. That's clever.
Yeah, I mean, I find it weird that
It's not even
Like
the manner
80.
in which Sutekh is killed off. It's him begging for his life.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Fair. I mean, he finally got free after thousands and thousands of years. He finally has a chance to break out and just, do his Sutekh stuff again. He can emerge back out and be himself. And then this one Time Lord who is there and is ruining all his plans. He's like, please don't put me back into all of this, this isolation, this desolation, the fact that I can never escape again. He's essentially being put back into the same prison. It's just in a different location.
Oh, he sleeps all right, just permanently.
So it's just one of those things where I can kind of get why he went to the whole, please don't put me back in there.
Yeah.
Do not do this to me again.
Well, it's not even that he's putting him back in there. He's just straight up killing him.
Yeah.
Sarah Jane even says Sutekh is dead at the end. So.
Yeah.
But for all the criticisms of the way he goes out, he's still a fantastic villain.
He is.
He is top tier for me.
Absolutely.
I couldn't remember everything about him, but he's fantastic. I think Fenric is slightly better in Curse of Fenric, but
I agree with that one. Yeah.
Because just that whole chess confrontation between him and the Doctor is just so wonderful.
Okay.
He is a very worthy number 2. A very worthy number 2, and certainly one of the better non-recurring villains of the Cosmic Era.
He's memorable for sure, and
You're saying he's shit?
I was thinking that, but I didn't say it. Thank you, Kat.
And I wish you carried on not saying it.
I don't give a shit.
I can tell.
So,
and basically, that's it. The Doctor is clumsy and burns down the house, which he kind of has to because Unit's HQ is built on the ruins of this manor.
I was going to burn down anyways.
So it was going to burn down at some point.
he even has a line about starting the Great Fire of 1666.
Yeah, what the hell? What the hell, Doctor Who?
Which is funny because a Peter Davison episode did that.
If Doctor hadn't gone back in time, would the building have really burned down?
Just casually throw that out there. And yes, he does start the fire in London, doesn't he? The Visitation.
Well, he doesn't so much start it as indirectly cause it.
Well, all right, he doesn't start it directly, but he is present when the fire breaks out.
Begins. Yes.
In the Visitation?
Yeah.
Which is the story where he gets his sonic zapped?
Yes.
That's a good one too.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's not as good as this, but it's decent.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is Pyramids of Mars. For my money, still an all-time classic.
It's pretty good.
Really memorable villain. Love the location. Love the nods to Greek mythology. Not Greek mythology. Sorry, that's because what's my degrees in. No, sorry, Egyptian mythology, Egyptian culture and mythology. Everybody dies apart from the Doctor and Sarah Jane and the three Egyptians at the beginning.
Whoops.
So this is like the reverse of of Stephen Moffat.
Well, I mean, it could be worse.
It could be worse than everyone dying?
Yeah. I'm not going to say how it could be worse.
Yeah, I'm going to say we're not going to elaborate on that. Leave the head out there. Just leave that hanging.
Well, I mean, they could have gotten expelled from Hogwarts. That's worse.
God damn it.
10 points to Gryffindor.
Yay! Wait, why am I clapping? I was in Slytherin.
10 points to Slytherin.
Yay! Be the first goddamn time it
How
happens.
many points does Ravenclaw get?
None.
And so
Oh,
then
yeah, Pyramids of Mars is a.
and so they reminded that great tweet, Hufflepuff is reading stuff to whatever, just take your seat.
Oh,
Ravenclaw
God.
gets nothing because their symbol is a fucking eagle, not a raven.
Yeah.
The hell?
Why is that?
What the fuck is up with the badger?
And the answer is that J.K. Rowling is a hack.
And what the fuck is a Hufflepuff?
Whatever, just take your seat.
So, Pyramids of Mars is pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I call it, like, the
Would
best
you say I
combat.
chose well?
Yeah.
You picked a pretty good
Because
one.
I wanted to give you an objectively good story to enjoy.
This is good.
Yeah.
I have my issues with the final
I could have been
episode.
cruel. I could have paid you back for Rani watching Dimensions in Time, but I chose not to.
What shitty Tom Baker would you have even picked? Underworld, Invisible Enemy?
Who says it would have been a Tom Baker?
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, you can't choose Twin Dilemma. That's mine.
Who says it would have been Twin Dilemma?
Good. Then we have.
I can't pick Time Lash.
I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell you if there was one to begin with. I'm just going to let you stew on that.
Oh.
You put me through Rani Watch. This is the least you deserve.
Don't worry.
You could have chosen to stay out of it, but you.
Well, Kat, what did you think of this episode?
You cheated the game for yourself.
Kat, what did you
Is
think?
not to play.
What did you think of Pyramids of Mars?
I think it's a big goddamn lie, seeing as there's only one pyramid on Mars, and we didn't even see it was an actual pyramid. But I enjoyed it. I mean, to be fair, this may not have been the best introduction to Tom Baker and Sarah Jane, just because from what you guys are saying, it seems like they were a little bit off in this episode, with Tom Baker being more serious and Sarah Jane being a little.
Yeah, if you want to see a typical Sarah Jane and Doctor Dynamic episode, for Doctor Dynamic, their first one together is Robot.
Okay. I'll probably never check that one out and just wait until you guys make me watch it. So.
Oh, God.
Although, to be fair, if anybody has heard of Pluto TV, not only is it free, but they also have an entire channel dedicated to just classic Doctor Who episodes. So.
Ooh.
Hashtag not an ad.
We're not getting paid by Pluto TV. We wish we were, but we're not.
Oh, I wish someone would sponsor us at all. Give us money, please. Please.
Listen. One day, some mirror manufacturer is gonna sponsor us.
Oh,
No, they're not.
I can only hope.
If you get like a sponsorship email from a mirror company, imagine.
We do still have our perfectly working email address at goexterminate@gmail.com.
Yeah,
so
that's a genuine thing still.
putting that out there. It's still there. I check it every so often.
Yes, for sponsorship, business inquiries, please feel free to email goexterminate@gmail.com.
I'm glad that you enjoyed Pyramids of Mars, you two.
It's good.
I'm glad I got to relive it again and see all your reactions to it. That was great. Yeah, it was a great time.
See,
So
I have one request though, Rainier. Can we just keep doing this so it's not Frez's turn next time?
Oh, listen. I promise I have an interesting one for next time.
Well, hang on a minute.
It's
Whose
not
idea
the
was
Underwater
Rani
Menace.
Watch? Whose idea was Rani Watch?
Cats?
Mine?
Whose idea was Dimensions in Time?
Cats?
Right. So it's 3 goes of me and then you. No. It's your turn next.
Okay, I got a fun one for you.
Okay.
Should I say it, or should I leave the viewers in anticipation?
Whatever you want to do.
We'll wait.
Is it another Tom Baker?
No.
Is it one we've already done?
No.
Perfect.
Is it one that I might have heard from you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll DM you later and find out.
Not at all.
I'll DM you later just so I can get the assets ready for it. But
so let's wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah, let's wrap this bad boy up. We've basically said that we really enjoyed it. Just a few things that are happening in the world of Doctor Who then before we sign off. So the watch-alongs are continuing.
Which I can't watch.
Yeah, sorry about that. But for those of you that can watch it, they have been terrific. The last one was Human Nature in the Family of Blood, which unfortunately I had to miss, but that was really good. The next one is Dalek. This is being recorded on the Monday, so Thursday at 7 p.m. is Dalek. Hashtag the Metaltron.
Fun.
If you've never seen Dalek, I urge you to give this one a try. It is brilliant.
I might tune into that one.
It's review crew approved.
Hell yeah. It's good.
I think Kat's seen it.
What?
Have you seen Dalek?
Remind me of what happens.
Eccleston.
Dalek in a bunker. No?
Oh, is that the one with, oh, shit, what's his name? From World War II, the British guy whose name I can't remember.
No,
Churchill.
You're
thinking of Victory of the Daleks.
Victory of the Daleks, which is the Matt Smith episode. So,
okay, then I probably saw it, but I just don't remember.
If you haven't seen it or you can't remember seeing it, I would strongly advise you to watch it again. It is brilliant.
I can't. I have to work.
No, I don't mean during the watch along, just in your own time.
I can't. I have to work. Also, what did I literally just say? I'm not going to watch it until you guys make me, so.
I'm not making you. I'm just suggesting as a friend you should watch it because it's a good time.
I know, and I'm saying I'm not going to watch it unless you make me watch it.
Oh, I see. You're dropping a hint.
Wrap this one up, Brainiac.
Okay, so there's that. Something amazing has been teased this past week. Time Lord Victorious, which is an amazing thing about Big Finish. It's not just an audio drama.
Oh.
They've basically gone nuts. They're going to do a series of things from September to next year. There's going to be audio dramas, books, I think theatre stuff, escape rooms. They're going all in on this. How the hell are we going to do escape rooms when we're all still stuck indoors because of COVID-19? God only knows.
Flash game, I don't know.
That would work.
They're basically going overboard with it, and I love every second of it. 8th Doctor, 9th Doctor, and 10th Doctor are involved. No details yet on where it's set. Apparently it's set during the dark times.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's the time before we know the Doctor. It's not the Timeless Child thing. It's very much not the Timeless Child thing. Oh, by the way, just one thing I want to point out. If this had been a 13th Doctor episode, she'd have allowed Sutekh to live.
So you're saying that she would have done the Osiris thing?
Yeah. And then the plot would have been messed up. Thanks for that, Jody. Look, she let Dora Man out of the mirror.
God.
But, question. You said that in the whole Time Lord Victorious thing, it involves the 9th Doctor?
8th, 9th, and 10th.
How? Eccleston hates Doctor Who now.
That'll probably be like a comic or something.
It'll be Jacob Dubman doing a voice.
Okay, because it's like I wouldn't think that he would be okay with us using his likeness or something.
I mean, they can use his likeness. He just
and the last thing I want to mention is that there's also been some classic Doctor Who watch-alongs being organised by TARDIS Monkey predominantly. We did the 5 Doctors on Saturday night, which was immense fun.
You had a lot of fun with that one.
I'd never seen it, and that was a lot of fun. And the next one is the 3 Doctors.
That's also very good.
Which I've seen, but it's worth watching again. And let me guess, Kat can't watch it again.
What day did you say it was?
9th of May.
Yes, because that completely helps me.
Which is a Saturday.
What time British Standard?
7.
Yeah, then no, I'll be working.
Oh, I'm sorry. Again, maybe you can watch it in your own time.
In the afternoon for me.
Maybe you can watch it in your own time. Not making you do it. I'm just suggesting it as a friend.
Well, see, that's not going to work because now I'm not going to watch it.
Kat, I'm ordering you to watch the 3 Doctors.
Ordering, Jesus.
Actually, I think I've seen that.
You might have done. It's a pretty famous one. But yeah, that was Pyramids of Mars. We all enjoyed it. And join us next time for whatever the hell mystery episode Fresno has planned for us. I swear, if this turns out to be a turkey after all, I'm not going to be happy.
Oh, I don't think it's going to be interesting one way or another. It's not like garbage.
Is it Warriors of the Deep?
It's what?
Is it Warriors of the Deep?
Oh, Jesus, no. That's actually bad. No.
Oh, poor Ingrid Pitt.
Oh, God. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. Until next time, thank you for watching, and we'll see you for whatever Fresno puts us through next time. And until then, bye for now.
Hopefully we won't keep you guys too long in suspense.
Yeah.
But before we start, Cap, was this your first exposure to Tom Baker? That sounds terrible.
It was the first time Tom Baker exposed himself to me.
Is this the first time you saw a Tom Baker story?
Yes, pretty much.
Right, because I'm going to include that in the background to the episode.
I am a Tom Baker virgin.
Not no more, you ain't.
Well, that's the intro sorted out. Right.
That's my cherry pop.
Fuck.
Please, Cat. It's Tom Baker. The term is jelly baker.
That is true.
Oh, God!
Were you rolling?
You know I was.
Oh, boy. We got the end of the episode.
We got the end card. We got the end card.
Thanks for listening, kids.
Jelly baby.
That's like when people were saying Xbox One and it turned on Xboxes because they misheard its Xbox on.
Alexa, play Despacito.